The Digital Photography Cafe show is brought to you by Focus Pyramid, the autofocus lens calibration tool for your camera.
Welcome to the Digital Photography Cafe show. Join hosts Trevor Current and Joseph Christina as they serve up the hottest photography news and commentary.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. This is episode 147. I'm Joseph Christina here with my co-host Trevor Current. On last week's episode, we talked about China banning sales of the Nikon D600, Lexar Nikon compatibility issues, the new Samsung NX Mini, and LifePrint's Kickstarter program. If you haven't watched last week's show, I encourage you to do so. You can find it at digitalphotographycafe.com and our YouTube channel, youtube.com/dphotocafe. Listen with the popular Stitcher, TuneIn, and Xbox music apps, or subscribe through iTunes or RSS. So, Trev, how are you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Nice. You are back.
I am back, yes.
Look, guys, Trevor's back.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm doing okay.
Nice.
Not 100% back to where I was before, but
Sure.
I'm finally starting to recover pretty good.
Nice.
My voice is a little jacked up. You may hear a little odd thing here and there. You may see me have to take a swig of water every now and then, but
Sure.
For the most part, though, I'm doing okay. You know, I'm back from 6 continuous weeks of radiation,
Right.
which was a nightmare.
Right. So if you guys, just new to the show, Trevor basically went on a hiatus for approximately, what would you say, 2 months?
Yeah, at least
Something like that.
more.
A little more than 2 months, because he did have cancer on his tongue that was removed, and then he had to go through a bunch of bouts, right? What was it, 13 or a bunch of radiation?
Yeah, well,
therapy
6 weeks, 5
6
times
weeks.
a week.
Eh.
So 30 radiation treatments, which really was more of a preventative type of thing.
Right.
After the surgery, after the removal of the tumor on my tongue, the margins were clear. They got it all.
Right.
And actually 2 weeks after my surgery, I felt really good. And I think I did a show or two after the surgery and kind of before I got bad with the radiation. But the radiation was bad news. I mean, that really just kicked my butt. It made me very tired. My throat got really sore. I got sores in my mouth from it, and it was something that I wouldn't even wish upon my worst enemy. I mean, it's just not a fun thing. Because of the sores and the sore throat and everything, it made it very difficult to eat. Right. So for probably a month, I was on a liquid diet, drinking the protein drinks, the Ensures, the Boosts, all of these different things. And needless to say, I lost a significant amount of weight. I lost like 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Which, it's not, I wasn't an obese guy as it was. I mean, I was 200 pounds, so I dropped down to 170.
Well, at least, I tell you what, at least you're back and you sound good. And, that's the main thing. And they said that according to everything that you've done, you should be 100% now. You should be
I should be. I should be in the clear now. I will be going back in 2 months for a PET scan.
Right.
Just to confirm that all of the cancer is out of my body. Right. But all my doctors, I had a follow-up with all the doctors last week. They all said I'm doing great, that I'm healing really well. And that for the most part, I should be in the clear. That the odds of this coming back is like 3 to 5% maybe.
Oh, wow.
So it's very, very minimal chance that nothing is ever going to be 100%. I mean, no doctor can guarantee that, but those are some pretty damn good odds. So
absolutely. I know we received a lot of feedback from you guys, wishing, all those well wishes for Trevor. And I know he was just, very excited, elated from all those constantly coming through, because that's really nice. I mean, we've been doing this for you guys for probably about, 2 years, 2.5 years. It's been quite some time. So it's just an amazing community that we have out there.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I definitely appreciate the support from the community. Even though many of us have never met, just knowing that people out there really care means a lot. That really does help with recovery. I mean, everybody can say, "Oh, I hope you feel better," or "Oh, is there anything I can do?" Really, there is nothing that anybody could do. It's just something that I had to endure and get through. But just knowing that people were out there, that they were supportive, that they care, it kind of makes a cynical world seem not so cynical. When you actually have support from strangers, basically. Yeah. So I do really appreciate that. And Joe, I appreciate you carrying on, at the helm here and keeping the show going week after week for all this time without me. I mean, there were many weeks where I couldn't even do the blog posts. I couldn't even get show notes together. I was just so drained and so out of it. And Joe picked up the slack and did everything, which is a lot. I mean, it's a lot to do for one person.
Yeah, I was absolutely happy to do it because, as I say, the show must still go on no matter what. And we just have to get the show out to everybody. I mean, they kind of expect it on that Monday morning or whatnot, the way on the train or traveling in the car. And we really kind of, it's something that we've done for so long. I'd feel there's something's missing if I don't get it done. So yeah, it was a little bit of struggle at the beginning because it is a 2-man project. You guys
really is.
Many times what we talk about, we discuss between the two of us. We go over some notes. We do bullets on the things of interest that we think that you guys would have interest in, and then we'll kind of just do the show. It's I wouldn't say free form, but it's not really, detailed piece by piece, item by item, but at least we have a general idea of what it is and some bullets we're going to be discussing. Right. And by not having that second person, it definitely does make it a little bit more difficult. But but you're back. I know that everything that we did today. Now, just in case you guys don't know, there's some major changes that are happening over here with the show, with your return and some other things. So we probably should jump into that too, right? So we can kind of talk about that because these changes that are going on, much is being done by Trevor, doing a lot of this YouTube work and the blog work that's just very tedious. That he's been doing kind of behind the scenes to get to where we are as of today. Let's kind of get into it a little bit. Basically, iTunes and RSS feeds are going to kind of change. The video side of them will not be there, right? The video will not be there, but of course the audio will, correct?
Yeah, we're going to, the iTunes RSS feed for the video is going away. Right. We know that there are many people who do subscribe to the video version of the show in iTunes and through RSS, whether it be on TiVos or whatever device. But over the last couple of years that we've been doing video, we've been getting a lot of feedback. And what's happening is, short of Apple devices that do make subscribing to podcasts relatively easy, it seems to be getting more and more difficult for people to subscribe. I know TiVo, there was some changes over at TiVo, and, they had this directory that listed all the podcasts and you could search and find them and stuff. Well, that has changed, and now there's only like a select group of podcasts that are available, and you could still get our show on the TiVo, but you'd have to actually enter an RSS feed manually, right, which really is a kludgy way of doing it. So,
in comparison to just picking out our picture and clicking on it and saying subscribe. And this has been happening with other things, and like Roku boxes and different methods that are out there that will sometimes display the show, but maybe display it off, or syncs. Audio sync will become slightly off, or video or whatever. And so we kind of decided that we're going to kind of put our video eggs into one basket. And we're actually, we've looked at every different option. We decided to go YouTube. Yep. So that's where all of, going forward, all of the video will be off of YouTube. You can, of course, get it through our website, but you can get it through any device that allows you to access your YouTube subscription. So that means everything. That means Android, iPhones, all of your tablets, iPads. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be
you can
Windows,
get it on your smart TV. I mean, these TVs nowadays have a YouTube app built right into them.
Absolutely.
So all you have to do is go to the app, search for Digital Photography Cafe. We'll show up. You'll see our channel. hit the subscribe button. Easy.
Yeah. So you'll get it on everything. So that is one thing that's really nice. Also, we're now able to offer a little bit higher definition than before. So we're going to be straight HD now, which would be the 720 in comparison to before. So we're going to be providing a little bit better of an image for folks, and then an easier route to get us, and then an easier way even then to subscribe, which is even better. So, all in all, I think this is going to be a very positive thing. But like I said, Trevor's been working on this back end stuff with YouTube and the website, hours upon hours upon hours.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I mean,
of
I
work.
thank you for it. I mean, it's just crazy. And, you have to have a lot of patience to be able to do it, because remember, guys, we have like 100, plus shows. It's just a ton, 100, and just in video alone, I think we started.
We've got almost 100 shows.
Yeah, we started, I think
all
it was,
need to be gone back through. So,
right. It was like episode 52, I think it was, Trev, right?
Yes.
When we went live with video. So, yeah, so it was a lot. But anyways, that's kind of what's going on over here with Digital Photography Cafe. Trevor's back. And there's been those changes with the video side of it. But anyways, let's get into the show. What do you think?
Yes. Yeah. So this week, we've got another GoPro competitor that hit the market. Right. We love the GoPros. We talk about them all the time. I know I had commented a while back about getting one for Christmas and how I couldn't wait to mount it to my RC truck. And I'm working on that. Now that I'm feeling a little bit better, I got a little bit more time that I can play. And
sure.
I've got a mount in the works so I can mount it to it. So we're going to be having some fun with that. But this one is from Panasonic. And this is actually a wearable 4K action camera, they're calling it.
Yeah, so it's a HXA is an Alpha 500 is the name of it. And it looks good, guys. It looks pretty good. There's a couple of things. I mean, let's just give you some positive features. Well, it is waterproof right out of the box. So, but it's waterproof to 10 feet. Which is, it's very odd. I mean, what is that? Like, pool depth. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that. It just seems weird. And it's waterproof for 30 minutes. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so that's one of the things. It does the 4K recording at 30 frames, which is good. It has a 160 degree wide angle, ultra wide angle. The thing with it is it kind of, I mean, we all know the classic GoPro. You get that slight barreling. You get that type of fisheye look to it because they want to go as wide as it can. Well, this looks even more like fisheye. It really looks kind of like overly fisheye. So fisheye that I wouldn't use it, for capturing like
it's a little too extreme.
It's too much. It's just too much. And it does the slow motion, which is kind of cool. So it does the standard 1080p, but it'll do 60 frames, and it'll also do 120 frames, and then a lower resolution, lower pixels it will do 240 frames, which is a ton. So you can do a really extreme slow motion, which is really cool. The nice part about it is it has the Wi-Fi and NFC, so it directly communicates with, like, for example, a smartphone, and you could control it from your smartphone, but also you can stream, right?
Yeah, which is interesting. I know a while back we were talking about other similar cameras that were giving you the ability to stream. But so far, GoPro doesn't do that. I would suspect that within a new upcoming revision, we'll see those capabilities. But right now, this camera allows you to stream to Ustream, which is kind of interesting. It gives you the ability, if you're connected to a Wi-Fi network, you can wear the thing strapped to your head or whatever and actually stream live. So something to be said about it. It's interesting. I don't know if it's really the camera for me, but it is, the direction that things are going with these, action sport cameras.
Yeah, and there's going to be more and more. And we told you guys, we've seen a ton of these way back when we did, what was it, Photo Plus, right?
Yep.
So a lot of these Chinese made small little lightweight video cameras are coming out now and in short order, so to speak. So anyways, moving forward, Blackmagic. We love the Blackmagic cameras. We think they're absolutely fantastic. But we're going to go ahead and roll some video here in the back while we're talking about this. Something happened recently with this Blackmagic camera that wasn't too terribly terrific, right?
Yeah. So a producer by Forrest Gibson, is his name. He was shooting a video for a Kickstarter program.
Right.
When his Blackmagic cinema camera, 2.5K, spontaneously combusted. And thing caught fire right in the middle of the studio. Smoke all over the place. It's like melting down and stuff like that. It was a real mess.
If you're not watching the video, then you can see. I'm just think about a studio, and it's just filling with like smoke. It's like a ton of smoke, and they even stopped. They use another camera to capture the smoke, and capture it basically smoldering. I wouldn't say flames, but smoldering.
Yeah, it was like
and
smoldering.
just so you know, like high density plastic, it doesn't start smoldering. It doesn't melt to like 266 degrees. Right. So this thing was kind of hot, I would say, and so it's kind of this kind of thing does happen. There's always going to be issues, especially with batteries, but it kind of makes you think, well, what batteries is Blackmagic using, and should they rethink about what manufacturer or who they're getting these batteries from? So they ended up with a response to this guy that he ended up putting up online. It's kind of quoted. I'll paraphrase it real quick. So it says, there's been a small number of isolated incidents where it has been reported batteries exploding. So I don't know, small incidents of batteries exploding. I don't care. I don't want to hear about one. That's kind of scary. But anyway, so this is not a common occurrence. And we would like to gather as much information about the situation as possible to ensure that it does not become common. Well, I hope not, right?
Yeah.
We do apologize for the issue you've encountered, and we'd like to assist you in getting an RMA. Yeah, an RMA would be nice to set up to sort this whole thing out. Do let me know. I love this part. Do let me know if there's any additional questions that you might have, So, yeah, there's a ton of questions that I'm sure the guy has. Like, are you going to pay for the SanDisk card that's completely melted and all the footage is gone?
Yeah.
Or I'm sure he's got a litany of questions. What would have happened if my studio burned down because the thing actually exploded and there's flames? But anyways, we love Blackmagic. We're kind of joking around about it a little bit, but it is kind of funny that it actually melted, and they showed the card too that was in there, and it's just, the side of the thing is melted, the card is scraped up, and God, it's completely ruined.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. So hopefully Blackmagic will be stand up. They'll stand by their equipment, and they'll hopefully make good on this. They really are a professionals type of product.
Absolutely.
Your consumer's not buying this, so the market is niche, and they need to make good in this market in order to keep people buying their product.
Yeah. So all right, guys, we got a lot more for you, but before we go any further, let's go ahead and hear from one of our sponsors.
Are you frustrated with slightly out of focus images when you know your autofocus spot was dead on? It's simply not your fault. From manufacturer to manufacturer, and even lens copy to lens copy, there are slight variances to the exact spot where light is being focused onto the sensor. Finally, there's a product that allows you to compensate for those variances and make sharper images immediately. Focus Pyramid, the autofocus lens calibration tool, is an absolute must for every photographer. If you want to make the sharpest images possible, then you need to take control over your camera's focusing system. With the Focus Pyramid, you can calibrate all of your lenses on your lunch break. The Focus Pyramid makes lens calibration quick and easy at an affordable price. So give your lenses a new lease on life and take your photography to the next level. Head over to focuspyramid.com/DPC and get an additional 10% off just for being a show listener.
All right, so we're back, and Adobe is making a little bit of news again with their financial reports. Actually, something that is actually good for Adobe this time around, and basically they're reporting that they have 1.8 million Creative Cloud subscribers.
So I guess people are liking the Creative Cloud is kind of what you would think. I kind of think that they don't have a choice to go Creative Cloud. I don't know. I think that they've done really well with the pricing. I know originally they went from $30, $20. Now it's like $9.99. I think it is for photographers that want Lightroom and Photoshop, which is I think it's a decent price.
That's a fair price. Sure.
It's a fair price.
I don't have a problem with that.
I definitely think they got the price right.
Yep.
But I always come back to the idea that do we really have choice? Because anyone that has CS 5.5 or CS6, with the understanding and the knowledge that it will no longer be updated, that you will be forced to go CC if you like it or not.
Right.
So as they come out with the next little warm and fuzzy new thing, the little shiny little object in the newest revision, it's going to make you want to go and get into the Creative Cloud version. So
right.
I don't know. It kind of is what it is, I guess. They have the 1.8 million, but I don't see innovation happening because of it. Because I do think, I know we've had this discussion, that it is kind of a monopoly at this point, and they control what happens with the product and what we see in the product, because they really don't have any competition. And we discussed this in the past, right, Trev? The amount of competition that they have is limited.
The amount of professional competition that they have is limited. I mean, there's a bunch of alternatives out there,
right?
To Photoshop or Illustrator or what have you, open source things. And if you want to go down that route, you can save yourself those subscription costs. But people who've been in the Adobe camp for many years and are used to Photoshop or Premiere or Illustrator, it's kind of hard to completely change, because you're in a certain work flow, and to change to another software application, I mean, you're completely relearning it again.
So bottom line,
basically starting from scratch.
Right. So the bottom line is we will all be forced into Creative Cloud no matter what. Eventually, you're going to go Creative Cloud. It doesn't make a difference. And I've talked to you about this. If they charge $50 per month, or if they charged $100 per month instead of $10, people would eventually go into Creative Cloud because they're going to need it.
They're going to
because it is. I would have to say, the only professional game on the block, which is
that's it. And it will separate the professionals from the wannabes, because the professionals who are making money with Adobe Creative Cloud will pay for it no matter what it costs. It's just going to be a cost of doing business. Those just breaking into the business, or students or what have you, who can't afford that monthly price, they may start looking at the alternatives out there. But what I found interesting is they said that their average subscription length is 18 months, and that people prefer to subscribe to the whole suite of products rather than just one application.
Right.
And, I kind of look at that like when you buy a car, when you lease a car, you could get the base model for $200 a month, but for another $50 a month, you can get the next level that has leather and satellite and all this stuff. So, what are people going to do? They're going to pay the extra $50 a month, because in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. And that's basically what's happening here. They know that they're going to have access to the entire Creative Suite, whether they use it or not, for a little bit more per month.
Yeah, it's always that little bit model, right? Just a little bit more, we're going to give you this. But wait.
Right.
But wait.
Right. And so, what? That's fine, as long as Adobe doesn't go nuts and try to start raking its subscribers over to coals, slowly jacking the prices up. And
like
making
the insurance companies do, and this kind of thing. And that's what scares me. I'm not the guy that likes the monopolies. Like, for example, Windows had on the PC arena forever and ever and ever. I mean, if you have a PC, you have Windows. If you don't have Windows, what do you have? You have Unix, Linux or something. You don't. I mean, you have Windows. Well, what else is there? So I like to see a lot of people, in the market. And that's why I like the idea of the Canon Nikon thing. I don't want to see any of them ever go away, because if not, it's even more stifling, as far as innovation. So anyways, moving forward, the idea of piracy, and we talk about all the time, our work, we don't want someone to go and take our work and, copyright infringement, blah, 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 blah. So this week we see the BSA, which is the Business Software Alliance, which is this like watchdog that watches over software piracy, and they make announcements on Facebook and all over the places, all over the place, that kind of say, "Hey, listen, get paid. Go ahead and turn this person in, and we're going to pay you if we collect money from them." So this is all that these people do. They spend millions and millions of dollars every year educating on software piracy in general, and how bad it is.
And rightfully so, because it is bad. I mean, people who pirate software and are using illegal copies of software, it does hurt the developer. I mean, it hurts them financially.
It's the equivalent of us, right? As photographers that complain, bitch and moan that our images are being taken, right? And then what we do is we go steal some music and go put it into a slideshow.
You know, I see that all the time. Photographers are the first people to complain and bitch when somebody takes one of their photos. But then the next thing you see them do is create a slideshow with some copyrighted, top 40 song in it. That is not fair use, people.
And I have done it myself. I'm guilty. I mean, I think we've all been guilty of that.
But anyways, violation.
Absolutely. So BSA, they're harping on this being, non-piracy and all this. Anyways, what do they do?
Here's where it gets good. Yeah.
They go ahead and steal a picture of this cake. And the cake is actually in the shape of like this kettle or something that's full of gold coins.
It's a pot of gold.
It's a pot of gold.
Yes.
And they make an advertisement out of it. It says, your pot of gold is right here, baby. Report unlicensed software and get paid.
Get paid.
Start at nopiracy.org. Do you love it? No piracy. And they stole the damn image.
Yep. They stole it from a cake decorating website.
Yes, I love it.
This is a cake. It's it's got the chocolate icing. I mean, it's a beautiful cake. I mean, man, somebody spent a lot of time working on this. Stole the damn image off their website and used it in Facebook promotions and stuff. I mean, we've got an image right here of it sitting on Facebook as a post. I mean, now,
someone's fired.
Yeah.
For sure.
Pot calling the kettle black for sure.
Yes, the pot black maybe.
Yeah,
that's pretty sad. Anyways,
it's humorous. It's it's
is.
something that we had to bring out, bring to attention just to address copyright issues in general. But yeah.
So anyways, moving forward,
do as
your
I
favorite,
say, not as I do.
Absolutely, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
So Drobo, your favorite company in the news.
Yeah. They've got a new 4-bay Gen3 device out. So anybody that's been listening to the show for a while, I'm a Drobo fan. I have 2 Drobos, 2 of the 4-bay Drobos, the older ones that were actually just USB and Firewire 800.
Right.
So I've had these for quite some time. I love them. I use one for my main storage, and I have a second one for time machine backup. So what's interesting about this new one, though, is it's faster than the previous generations. It's using USB 3.0, which is great. And it's significantly faster in the rebuild times, which is great. So as it's rebuilding and duplicating the files, mirroring the files for that protection, it's doing that process much faster.
Yeah, it probably has a better processor built into it or something that's doing the RAID.
Right.
I'm going to guess.
Right.
The proprietary RAID, I must say. I won't get into it.
I know you're not a big fan of that. No, you've got to either be in the Drobo camp or not. I mean,
I know.
There is no middle.
I like the unit. I hate proprietary anything. But anyways, that's another story. But yeah, so this is what $349. So this might be a replacement.
The enclosure. There are no hard drives included in this.
So you might be able to take your drives and stick it into this. Is that possible?
You'd have to reformat them, but yeah. You would have to, because you can't take them from one Drobo to the other Drobo with data already on them. It's not going to work that way.
That means that the software, the proprietary software, has changed the way that it's indexing or the way it's saving the data out, backing up the data or whatnot.
What's interesting with this new one as well is they have what they're calling enhanced support for Apple's Time Machine. So what this does is, in my scenario, I have 2 units. One is the primary, one is the backup. Well, now you can actually do it all in one unit. They will allocate, or by how much you tell them to allocate, a portion of that storage space as your backup, as your time machine backup. So now, if this were out years ago when I bought my 2, I would have only bought 1. And it would give me the ability to have that time machine backup in a partition.
Yes.
And then have the active files living in the other partition.
Yeah, I wonder if it makes like a virtual partition possibly, so it still spans it over the drives, or if it actually does create a partition. I'm going to guess it's probably like a virtual partition.
I'm sure it's virtual, yeah.
And it's probably going to be for X amount of size or whatnot, and it's probably not going to be able to meander around the size of it. But I'm not sure how it works. But regardless, I like it though, especially for you that you have both. The actual time machine backups as well as the rest. So all in one instead of on multiple is kind of cool. So this is Gen 3, 4-bay Drobo. Take a look. The unit itself, $349. Not bad.
Not bad. And you just pick up some cheap hard drives off of Amazon or what have you and throw them in there and you're good to go.
Yeah, guys, late April. Take a look.
Yes.
So moving on, we talked about back, I think it was right around 138, I believe. I was speaking originally about the D600, and then we talked about how the D600 was someone returned it X number of times, and then they were given a D610, and they were like, I wonder what's going on with that. And then finally, Nikon came out with a press release saying, yes, we know that there's a problem. Send us your D600s and we'll go ahead and replace the sensors and any mechanism in there that we need to make sure everything is great. Then the next week after that, I report that now China says absolutely not, Nikon. You will not sell another D600 in this country.
Yep.
Now this week, what do we get? This week, now Nikon comes out with, well, if you send your D600 back to us and it's a couple of times maybe, let's wink, wink, 3 winks, and it's for the same wink, wink sensor problem or any kind of black dots, we're going to maybe give you a new D600 or possibly even upgrade it to a 610.
Yeah, they say an equivalent model. Yeah, I mean, this is interesting.
Full circle, right?
It's kind of like the whole lemon law thing. They try to fix it a few times. They can't fix it. They give you a new one. China banned the D600. So, Nikon can't sell the D600. One would think that they won't be able to give somebody a D600 as a replacement. So, though China will probably get D610s.
Probably.
I would think that they're probably going to follow suit. If you send the camera back more than twice, I'm sure that they're going to just, give you a different camera. They're not going to try and keep repairing the same thing. It's not economical after a while.
No, it's expensive. Originally when I reported on this, it was the whole idea, this is going to be very expensive on Nikon's side. And I gave them kudos for actually kind of fessing up and saying, yes, we have a sensor problem, which they didn't do forever. And people complained about it and complained, just like you said with the lemon law with a car. It comes to a head, and now even their government gets involved and says, you will not sell this camera in our country anymore. Right. I'm going to say that United States will follow suit. Any of the camera companies like a B&H, Adorama, they're probably looking at this and probably getting guidance from it and saying, listen, if you can't sell it in China, I don't want it here. Just send us the 610s. We don't want this stuff at all. And if we have any 600s that we sold in the past, we're gonna have our people send them back to you, and you can replace them because we don't want to have anything to do with this. There's obviously an issue at this point. So
money.
Nikon's
gonna have a lot of good to make here.
So all of you D600 users, send those cameras in. Send them in. You might get a new 610.
Even if your problems aren't that bad right now, just send them in.
Send it in. Absolutely.
I mean, if you can afford to be without your body for a while, maybe rent another body or something. But send them in. Take advantage of this offer right now. Even if you're out of the normal 1-year warranty, they're still going to cover it. So send it in.
Yeah, I agree. So, Trev, we need to get out, right?
Yes, we do. So if people want to connect with you outside of the show, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Find me on Twitter at Joseph Christina, and that's Christina without an H.
Great. And you can connect with me on Twitter. It's at Trevor Current.
All right, everyone. We are out of here for, once again, another show. You can get all the show notes from this episode by visiting digitalphotographycafe.com/147. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/dphotocafe. And we'll see you next week.
You've been watching the Digital Photography Cafe show with Trevor Current and Joseph Christina. Subscribe to our YouTube channel with any compatible device by visiting youtube.com/dphotocafe. Be sure to subscribe to our audio feed through iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, and Xbox Music apps or through RSS. Visit digitalphotographycafe.com for show notes and to connect with your hosts.